Wait,
Too
can
late.
you hear me?
Yes.
I just lost my picture. What the fuck just happened? Can you see me?
Children of the night,
Seriously, can you see me?
what music they make.
Yes.
I can't see you guys. I don't know what you're doing.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's that?
Somebody else drive.
I'm not
There we
gonna
go.
hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you open.
Take it away.
Welcome to Final Guys, the most popular horror podcast in all the convent.
Good night, everybody.
We had a little freak out during the intro there where my picture disappeared. And Jason just rolled it anyway. So,
Literally, I hit start streaming and you said, wait. I'm like, there's no waiting. we're
And
going.
all the help you get is us laughing at you.
well, one more reason why this shouldn't be a live cast. Anywho, we're here to talk about horror movies and stuff like that. So welcome. If you've never been here before, we're going to talk about The Nun tonight. I didn't see it, but these two clowns did.
Priests, men of the cloth, not clowns.
We'll do a little news. We'll talk a little bit about what we watched this week. Then we'll jump in with non-spoiler review, and then we'll get into some spoilers. We'll give you a warning at the end so you can bail if you haven't seen it and don't want to be spoiled. And with that, how you guys doing? Jason and Hunter, my co-hosts.
Good.
Want to go first, Jason?
I'm fine.
I had a book come out, Creature, which is now out in audiobook, ebook, trade paperback. And if you're live here, you get to see hardcover with a nice little dust jacket and everything.
Ooh,
Hardcover.
that's sweet. Is that like
your
a
first
metallic?
one?
This is my first actual hardcover that's designed to go in stores, and we have the company has a good deal with B&N, so should
Very
be
nice.
making its way. Very excited.
Hardcover's the one thing I haven't done yet because I just don't want to spend the time on it, but I love this.
Luckily, I didn't have to spend a damn thing on this. We'll see what happens with it.
Now, when like in a year from now, when they don't sell and they're all in a pile, do they tear off the covers of those? Or
You know what? I wonder, do they tear the cover? That would be. It's a crime they tear the covers off anyway. Just do something else with them.
I go Fahrenheit 451.
Yeah, the original, not the reimagining that was on HBO.
Yeah, I have no idea what they do. Do they just throw them in a giant shredder or something?
I think it's just, well, I think they mail them back.
Well,
So-
somebody does something with them.
They're destroying a book. They're spending postage for them to be just deposited in a landfill. It's sad.
All right. I also
Excellent.
have
Well,
a book coming out. I finished the first draft this week, so
All right.
3 weeks.
Well, report back when you have a book written.
He does.
Yeah, it's written just not competently. So
It's fine.
It's not news till you have a cover to show. Now get back to work.
all right, now every week then I'm updating this. I got a cover, I got a blurb, I got
No.
formatted.
I don't want an update until the book is done. I think you don't
I bought the
understand.
advertising.
My advice: buy more advertising.
Wow.
Okay.
Boom.
All right,
Boom.
that's what we're doing. What the fuck? Can you see me? What happened?
By the way, Sheridan said that's the greatest opening of all time.
You know, I have to leave that in the audio version too.
Oh, totally.
I have to. That was so
Good.
awesome.
Good production value.
There's Panic in the Disco.
All right. Who wants to hear some news?
Should we do the drinking game there?
Oh shit, I forgot.
I got it.
Yeah, let's skip it.
If you want to deal with the wrath of Sheridan, look, here we go. I'll do it quick. You all got to start drinking. If Jack says new Candyman or series or new Candyman series, yeah. For me, it's missing book. Oh, we've already started. And sense. Jason is bad jump score, not jump scare. And bonus for all three is Conjuring, Predator, and Universe.
Next week's words are of, the, and is. Oh, hello?
Jack lost it. What happened?
No, I'm just waiting for you to say something funny. Are you guys done?
Yeah, we're
Yeah, I'm
done.
done.
Did the drinking rules. There we go.
All right.
I thought we lost you again.
So did I.
No, I'm honestly waiting for you to say something funny. So go on.
You're gonna be waiting a long
Nothing.
time.
Okay. What are you guys doing in 2020?
Hopefully, I'm still alive.
Manscaping. A whole year of manscaping.
Manscaping. The year of the manscape.
I have plans.
Well, the sequel to A Quiet Place is set for release in 2020, May 15th to be exact.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No word on whether Krasinski or Emily Blunt will be involved, but you knew this was coming.
I know. It made too much money.
I wonder if you almost have to have it where they're not the main characters. You know, like another family. Maybe they have a cameo or something. I don't know.
Watch, he comes back because he never died.
He crawls into the house later that night.
Well, he directed it, so he could always direct Emily Blunt and not be in it.
Yes.
Isn't he one of those I don't like horror movie guys, though? So it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't come back. I feel like he is.
He's Jack Ryan.
I wonder what kind of box office draw this is without them. Like if you get like the B-list versions of those two.
Unless he hands it all over to Rainn Wilson. Like everyone in the office will get their crack at one of these movies. Stanley Manley, 2026.
I'm pretty sure he's the only one who's like 6'3" with a smoking hot wife.
Yeah, I think so.
So get ready to drink. Here's the next story. And Hunter, I can't wait to see your eyes roll for this one.
Books.
Jordan Peele's in talks to remake the Candyman. Not the Sammy Davis Jr. song, which I love. The Clive Barker, which I did not like, movie.
Could he combine the two, Sammy Davis Jr. and Candyman?
What I'd like to see is Sammy Davis Jr. doing Bloody Mary. Because basically the Candyman was a ripoff of Bloody Mary. Using Sammy Davis's song. So,
oh, well, look, if he could make the movie not as boring as the original, I think kudos to you.
Amen, sister. That is, I didn't. People, maybe I need to go back and watch it. I did not like Candyman.
No, you don't.
I went back and watched it maybe a year or two ago, and I liked it significantly more than when I'd seen it in the 90s. It's a decent movie. It's just one of those, like, people love that. I don't know that you want to remake that. I mean, people love that movie.
And they say, I'm so scared by it. I'm like, by what? You should be scared of the projects in Chicago, I guess. The Mother Cabrini home or whatever the hell that was.
That was kind of what I liked about it, was the urban aspect of it, just kind of like creating a new urban legend. I don't know. I liked all of that. The pacing was a little slow. That's what I remember not liking, but I liked it quite a bit more this time. I don't remember if I saw it on Prime or...
I took my daughter to the Alamo to see it last year. She was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, I know. But now you know.
Jordan Peele's the hot name, though. He's remaking The Twilight Zone. His Lovecraft Country is in production or in the works. And, of course, anything, the racial impact of Get Out has made him the hot name, besides the fact that he's a talented guy.
Yeah.
He's that also he's bankable.
Good for him. Make the money.
To be honest with you, if I'll go back and watch Candyman again and give it another shot. But this actually could be a good movie to remake, because if it was, mixed reviews for the current crop, maybe it's a good one that they can hit a home run with a second try.
Is he doing anything else in between?
Well, like I said, he's doing The Twilight Zone, and he's working on something called Lovecraft Country, and he's doing a sequel to, or not a sequel to, but something after Get Out. I forget what it's called.
Okay. All right.
I think it's called Us, according to this, but I could be wrong. So he's got a busy slate.
At least he's staying in the genre.
And now that he's in talks, so we'll see if it actually happens.
Talk.
Talk.
Maybe he could
All right,
remake Rawhead Rex.
Yes.
Oh God.
No.
What they could do with CG with the Rawhead Rex would be amazing.
Oh, that amazing pissing on the priest scene.
Yes.
So good.
There's a lot of people in Pennsylvania want to watch that.
Maybe the eyes wouldn't look like they were googly eyes, kind of going in different directions on the terrible monster.
Tim Myers' favorite movie, by the way.
He doesn't have a dream catcher above his head. It's a Rawhead Rex.
Oh, Dreamcatcher is my favorite King adaptation.
Oh, God. Welcome back, Tim. We missed you.
All right, this next one is not going to be a very smooth read because I copy and pasted it onto this piece of paper yesterday, and I did not pare down the paragraph so I could just get to the good stuff. Basically, in October, Shudder is going to have new content every week.
Ooh.
So there is going to be a pile of things, including the movie that we all paid to watch, Revenge, which I might watch again because that chick was so hot, and Summer of '84, which we also paid for.
Mm-hmm.
Season 3 of Channel Zero, Halloween. A bunch of the Halloween movies are going to be out on there. A bunch of Alfred Hitchcock movies are going to be on there.
That's cool.
Nice.
New releases: Hell House LLC 2, The Abandoned Hotel.
Oh.
I enjoyed the first Hell House. Not
Yep.
a great movie, but it was good enough.
Are they making a sequel to that? I had no idea.
Of course they are. Something called Satan's Slaves.
That sounds like right up Steve Barnard's alley
True
there.
horror.
It sounds like something that was
Terrified.
in the back of the video store behind the curtain.
Yeah, exactly.
Terrified, which I think is the one with the clown guy.
That movie's messed up.
Witch in the Window. I remember that trailer. Yeah, and some other stuff like that. So,
Hopefully
Vengeance
they
is
have.
hers.
Hopefully they have Tim Myers. He's correcting me. Dreamcatcher is not his favorite King adaptation. It's even worse. It's the Tommy Knockers.
Oh, God.
The
Alfred
one-
Hitchcock includes Psycho, Vertigo, Rear Window, The Birds, The Man Who Knew Too Much, Rope, and Shadow of Doubt.
I was going to say, I hope they have Rope and Shadow of a Doubt. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Was Rope one of the drinking game rules words?
Should be.
Well, that'll give us some content through the end of the year if there's some shit releases out.
That's what I thought. I was like, oh, good.
Yeah.
So-
Do we want to do the original Halloween when the new one's coming out? Like a back-to-back or something?
Yeah, I'd do that. That'd be kind of cool.
We haven't done Halloween yet. Might not be bad. I need to watch it again anyway, since it's supposed to be a direct sequel to it, right? So,
Yeah.
Yep. Ignore everything else, even 2.
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, I know. Thank God.
So with that, that's all the news that's fit to print.
I have Joe Bob news.
Oh, I knew you were gonna. I forgot I was gonna mention this before.
I've been
Go ahead.
trolling him on Twitter waiting for the announcement. He's got 3 new things on Shudder coming out. The first is I think it's a 4-movie marathon Thanksgiving night. I think it starts 9 o'clock Thanksgiving. I don't know. I'll be drunk by then. I don't know how I'm going to make it through that.
Yeah.
That goes till, I think, dusk. And then he's doing one Christmas week, maybe the 22nd, something like that. It's another mini marathon. And then apparently they are doing a show in 2019. Nobody knows what that means, if that's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever it is. But
I think
yes.
monthly would be perfect. I think if it's too much weekly, you get spoiled. You're gonna lose that nostalgia, that craving.
my concern with it, I mean, the guy did 800 plus episodes of a weekly show over like
Right.
30 years. But
Yep.
I would be concerned about Shudder being able to get enough quality movies for him to to do on the show. He might do a lot of shit ones though. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what they're gonna do, but
I don't get live broadcast of Shudder, so if he's doing this, as long as they archive them, that'll be good. But
There's
if
no
I
way
have
they
to
won't.
yeah, I would think so, because I really don't want to cancel my Shudder and resubscribe some other way so I can watch it.
You know
Live.
that subscription's going up. $5 ain't gonna cover it anymore.
so if you subscribe through the app or through their website, it's only $4 a month instead of $5, and you get the live stream. But their app is horrible. It crashes on my Fire TV constantly.
Awesome.
If I could have the live stream through Amazon, I would do that in a second. I'd pay the extra $1. So it's kind of annoying. But that's it. That's all my news.
Yay,
All right.
that's good news.
Let's talk about what we watched this week.
Sure.
We have such sights to show you.
All right, so Jason and I both watched the same TV series So we should talk about that together. So Hunter, why don't you go first, and then we'll flip it over to us, and we'll tackle that.
I know what you guys are going to talk about, but I won't spoil it. Okay. I actually watched this movie the other night. My wife's like, "Oh, I was just looking around and I saw this. Do you want to watch it? Look at the trailer. It's called Bad Samaritan. It came out this year.
I don't think I've heard of that.
It was, where do we find it? On demand, on Fios On Demand. It stars David Tennant as a very bad man. He is so good, man. I swear, he's one of those guys. I think anytime you need a bad guy, it should be him. He should just be a professional bad guy because he's so good at it. The concept of this movie is there were two friends who are valets in an Italian restaurant. And what they do is when they take your car, if you seem like a douche or you got a nice car, they drive to your house. They'll look for an address and anything in your thing and rob you.
Very nice.
And just take little things so that way you don't notice it. And when the guy, David Tennant, is driving a Maserati, and total douche right from the get-go. So when the guy drives his car, follows the GPS to his house, gets in there, finds an Amex black card. He's going to take that. He goes into a room and he's fiddling with the computer, and he looks, and there's a woman bound and gagged and chained to a chair that's chained to the floor.
That's a cool idea.
And it goes from there. I don't want to spoil a thing on this movie. It is so freaking good. How this gets on demand and The Nun makes $100 million in the movies. It's just beyond me.
Should we do an episode on it?
I think it's worthy. The only thing is it's not quite horror. It's more of a thriller. So damn, is it good? Yeah, this is right now. When we were done, I went up and put it on my list for best movies of the year. Like my favorite. I mean, it was really good.
All right.
So check out Bad Samaritan by all means.
Done.
I never heard of it.
Neither have I.
Yeah, that was directed by Dean Devlin.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. They must have really screwed up the advertising for the three of us who pay attention to this shit to have never heard of this.
I totally snuck in.
Huh. All right.
It all has to do with what thumbnails they show you, because I know that I run across movies and you guys are, what are you talking about? I'm like, don't you see that like every time you are surfing? So I think it really depends on where you are. All right, so Jason and I both watched the new Jack Ryan series on Amazon.
Oh yeah,
which I think I just said like 12 drinking game rule.
Jack, reach around.
So, Jason, why don't you kick off and I'll chime in and we can paddle around on this one.
Just my quick overview is I thought it was really, really well done. They definitely spent a shitload of money on it. Krasinski is a great Jack Ryan. He really nails the Boy Scout who's willing to go far kind of thing that worked really well when Harrison Ford was doing it. And I actually liked the subplot that was almost as much as the Jack Ryan plot of the Syrian woman trying to escape her terrorist husband. That was outstanding. Honestly, I didn't even feel like the pacing of this was bad. Kind of like a Netflix series where there are a couple episodes that I'm really not enjoying. I dug this the whole way through, and the only thing I'm really bothered by is I know how long it took them to do this first season, so till we get a second season, it could be like 2 years.
Yeah.
But I loved it.
So I've never been a big fan of the Jack Ryan movies. I thought Hunt for Red October was pretty good, but I didn't even think of it as a Jack Ryan movie. I think of it as a Sean Connery movie. The Harrison Ford ones I thought were sort of just run-of-the-mill action movies that, fill in, whatever. What was on cable tonight? Oh, it's Patriot Games. Fill in any other action movie. They're okay.
I never saw a single one of those.
I like them. They're very intricate with the workings of government. So if that stuff bores you, then you're probably not going to like them.
I hate government.
I didn't dislike them, but it wasn't like, Die Hard, where I was like, oh, I got to go back and watch that again. Yeah. But like the one with Sean Bean was on cable like every day for like 3 years. So
was that Patriot Games or Clear and Present Danger? I can't even remember.
A Rare and Pleasant Stranger.
So I was looking forward to this, and it finally came out, and I agree. I really enjoyed it. It's only like 8 episodes, and they do a really good job of kind of showing how the terrorists get to where they are terrorists. Like what happened to them in their lives. So there's a little intricacy to the whole thing. It's not just these are the good guys and these are the bad guys.
Yeah.
They kind of show you the layers on everybody. Krasinski, man, this guy's stock is just going up, up, up because he definitely plays like the kind of boyish charm with this simmering underneath it.
This is crazy, this world we're in, where John Krasinski's the new leading man.
He's an action star.
And the kid from Parks and Rec is leading every friggin' blockbuster.
Krasinski was up for Captain America. He was almost Captain America.
Oh, no.
I don't
Not
know
with
about
that
one.
Not with that nose.
And there's
I have a certain aesthetic for Captain America.
I saw a Dreamcasting episode, article somewhere where they were like Krasinski should be Reed Richards once Marvel gets the Fantastic Four back. It's like that actually could be a good move.
I could see that.
Yep.
So anyway, this again, I don't know somebody who holds the Jack Ryan series in high regard. Although there's the Harrison Ford, there's and all the other guys who have played him. So I think it got pretty forgettable. Well, didn't Ben Affleck play him once?
Yeah, Some of All Fears. I hold the Jack Ryan series in pretty high regard. I like the Harrison Ford ones a lot.
So, for me, I was like, there's so many Netflix or Amazon series that I just watch and forget. And this is one that I'm like, I can't wait for the next season. So thumbs up for me.
Yep, me too. Outstanding. They spent a lot of money. Like it's very clear from the first episode. They spent a shitload of money on that.
And the other guy, the other good guy, was in The Office. I mean, not The Office, The Wire.
Mm-hmm.
His boss?
Yeah, his boss.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he's great.
Yep. Good
as
stuff.
well. All right, Hunter.
I go again?
Go again.
All right. This is a book. So if you people don't like to read, earmuffs.
Earmuffs.
The Lost World of Karamu by our man Robert J. Stava.
Oh, my boy.
Yes. This is Indiana Jones is dropped into Jurassic World. It's crazy. And here's the thing. This is where Robert is a step above other folks. This book is by Severed Press that does a lot of dinosaur horror and crappy versions like my own stuff. Robert does a lot of research and he knows his shit, man. And he has an Asian wife, so there's a lot of Asian characters in here that there's just an insight into the way they talk and curse at each other and react. You only get that if you know somebody. You're close to somebody feeding you this information. He thoroughly researches DNA, and it's really intelligent stuff. But it's also nonstop action. The whole time I'm reading one, this is like Indiana Jones. So instead of Nazis, he has Russians and killer Vietnamese.
Okay.
And he's not looking for some arc. He is looking for, the island is designed for rich people to pay to have dinosaur adventures. And you play a character the whole time. They keep in character and they go on these safaris, just crazy bullshit shit that rich white people would do. And then they call in a couple of these characters to make sure everything's okay on the island. Of course, it's utter chaos. And there's assassination attempts and there's meltdowns on the island. It's crazy. It's literally, it leaves you breathless at some points. A lot of chasing going on. And he does a really good job where it was totally built into my head perfectly. So
nice.
Good job, Robbo.
Severed Press, you said, huh?
Severed Press.
Nice.
Check that sucker out. It's only $3.99 on your Kindle.
He's a good man. Buy that book. Support him.
That's right. Him and I are going to do some joint signings together. Maybe we'll just sign joints. I don't know how we're going to do it, but whatever.
There you go.
Free weed.
All right, Jason, what you got?
I went back with my wife and watched The Abyss, And I primarily wanted to mention this for 3 reasons. One, watching my wife squirm while we watched this together was crazy. Just how claustrophobic that movie is, and when the water starts pouring in, when they're hundreds of feet or however the hell far down they are, she was just so uncomfortable, as uncomfortable as I've seen her in a movie in a long time.
Wow.
And the movie's now 32 years old, I think.
Oh, don't tell me that.
The special effects hold up better than almost any movie I've seen, older than maybe T2. It's unbelievable how good it looks. The creature effects, I guess water effects, I think it's some of the first CG that they did in a movie, and it still holds up so well.
They cared when they made it.
If you look into, I mean, it's James Cameron, so it's not going to be a piece of shit. But apparently he just tortured the hell out of these people underwater, and it really shows in their performances, because Ed Harris in this, what the hell's her name? Maid Marian? Shit.
Oh God. Oh, Jack's opened up the bottle. Mary Mastrantonio. Is it ever?
I don't think so. Anyway,
I'll find it.
It's an outstanding movie. And I saw the extended version where the ending's different, with a tidal wave coming to destroy the planet, all the different continents and things. And it makes the ending make a little more sense. And I dug it. I loved it. I hadn't seen it in so long. And that movie just holds up so well.
It's a great movie. And it's Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. Hey, I was right.
You got it. Yeah. So The Abyss. If you can track down a copy, it's kind of hard to find right now. It's 100% worth it.
Oh, it's 29 years old. God damn.
Wow.
29. Okay.
I saw that the day it came out. I was so excited.
It's a good
one.
one.
And it didn't disappoint.
I don't even know if I saw that whole movie.
It's so good. If you're claustrophobic, it will mess you up.
And if you like aliens like Jason and I, you'll be turgid.
Okay. I'm going to go with a book, and then I'll end with a movie.
No way.
Yeah, I was on, took a long weekend. Was at a beach house. And I read, first of all, shut up. I read. I just don't read your crap.
Good. It's better for your health.
But I hunted down a vampire novel called Storeberry by a guy named Dan Padavona, who I discovered on Twitter. Seems like a good guy.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
You know what? It is it was like a perfect read for being at a beach house on the weekend. You know, I'd sit outside, wind is blowing, had my Kindle, and I was reading it, and it was like good old fashioned evil vampires that you fight with stakes and crosses. A lot of comparisons to Salem's Lot, because it's about a small town overrun by vampires, and you sort of meet a lot of people in the town so that a lot of people in the town can get killed. But without all the fat of Salem's Lot, like this is a fast, well-paced read, kind of a meat and potatoes vampire story. It's not really breaking any ground with what it's doing, but kind of the comfort food vampire. Like, I was just looking for some good old-fashioned vampire entertainment while I enjoyed my vacation, and that's exactly what I got. It was a refreshing read, and I look forward to. I downloaded a book of his with like some short stories. So I give it a thumbs up, and I'm looking forward to reading more by him.
I've never read him. I'll have to do that.
So Storeberry, it's called. Maybe not the greatest name of a novel to grab.
That's all right.
So on Amazon, he wisely has put Storeberry and then like dark vampire fiction or something. So
there you go.
Yeah,
you
they
know
do
what to
that.
find.
Got a keyword stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else, Hunter?
I've got nothing that I'll talk about this week. There's more next week.
We rented a movie called Delirium that I hadn't heard of. It came out in 2016. Topher Grace. It's a Blumhouse movie. I don't know how this slipped through my radar.
Really?
But it's about a guy who's been in a mental asylum for 20 years. He gets out. His family was incredibly wealthy, and his father had committed suicide a few days before he gets out. So he gets out, and he's under house arrest for a crime you don't know about until almost the end of the movie. And it's this giant mansion that he's under house arrest in. And he starts hearing things and seeing things, and then as he's going through the house, he's noticing, this room's a little weird, or this is off, and he starts finding things about his father that are a little weird, and his mom ran away, and then there's this weird stuff with his brother, and everything's weird. And I dug the movie, But the whole way through, I couldn't quite tell what I was going to think about it until the end, and the end very much saves it and puts it into something that I would recommend. You might want to wait and see if it goes into Prime or Netflix, but
Right.
cool little Blumhouse movie. It's just another one of those. I think somebody had an idea, and Jason Blum was like, "Here's some money, go do your thing." And
How was Dumbass Foreman?
what's that?
How was Dumbass Foreman in it?
Dumbass Foreman?
Yeah, you ever watch that
Topher
70s show?
Grace.
What is it with him?
He was in that 70s show, and his father
Oh my
called
god,
him
I
Dumbass.
totally forgot that.
There was a
him.
popular TV series on Fox a while back called That 70s Show, and Topher Grace was in it. And his father on the show often referred to him as Dumbass.
Thank you. His father's name was?
Red.
Do you remember? Red, that's right.
I never actually watched much of that show, but I do remember he was in it. So
They smoked weed.
anyway, that was Delirium.
Excellent. My last movie before we get into this was awesome. I kind of scoured around, bookmarked some movies for, I got to watch this someday. This was on that list. 1970s Mark of the Witch. Awesome, kind of schlocky 70s movie about a turn of the century witch who's hanged, puts a curse on everybody before she's hung.
Naturally.
Fast forward to the 70s and a college party, and there's they're taking classes on witchcraft, so they've got books. They bring one to a party and they read something, and this little conservative hottie gets possessed by the witch, and the ancestor of the guy that was cursed happens to be a professor at the college. So the witch starts to take her revenge. But the funniest thing about this movie is the professor guy and the boyfriend of the girl who gets possessed quickly realize that she's possessed and are so nonchalant about it. And they're trying to deal with it, but there's no real panic or anything like that. They're just sort of like, oh, well, what are we going to do about this? Whatever. Not like, holy crap, she's possessed by a witch.
Yeah, I know. Oh, she's just possessed.
And there's some great busty 70s chicks in this movie, and a couple of them show their bed knobs rather than their broomsticks.
I love it.
So again, this does not go under great theater. This goes under, if you're looking for a good schlocky witch movie, pop this one in. And
see, for me, that's early horror-tober afternoon thing.
Exactly. This felt like something that we would stumble upon edited on Channel 5 on a Sunday afternoon.
Right.
When we were 10.
Oh my god. Where'd you find that?
I think it might be on Prime.
Prime has so many of those old movies like that.
Good.
Yeah, I just bookmark them. I'm like, oh, this looks like something I gotta watch. It's only an hour and 18 minutes, so.
Oh, even better.
And I see I linked to the wrong thing in the show notes, so I'll have to fix that.
That's all right. Maybe it's a better thing.
That's debatable. All right. I'll blast through my last two. Have you guys seen The Evil Within? Came out last year. It has Michael Berryman in it, Sean Patrick Flanery.
No.
It just released straight to Amazon Prime. I watched it. It was so bizarre that I had to look it up. And apparently this movie was made over 15 years by an eccentric millionaire who was going to inherit an oil fortune, but he was also a meth addict. So,
what?
So he shot this movie from 2002 to 2007 and then spent 8 years editing it and doing the special effects in camera, and then died before it was finished, and his producer finished it and dumped it on Amazon Prime.
Good Lord. And Michael Berryman outlasted all of them.
It is so weird. So just knowing this guy was a drug addict who spent 15 years on this, you're looking at this thinking, yeah, okay.
I just put it on my watch list.
The narrative makes no sense. But the story is about a boy who suffers from insane nightmares. So from a nightmare logic point of view, it almost has I don't want to say a phantasm quality, but to an extent where you're not sure what's real, you're not sure what isn't. You're not sure what's supposed to be a stupid-looking special effect and what was just terribly done. But some of the shots and some of the effects in this are incredible. And then in the next scene, the dialogue is so inane and stupid, you can't believe it came from the same guy. So
Oh my god.
it's so weird. It's actually I wish the guy had been able to do more stuff, because obviously he spent his own money. He didn't care. Apparently spent like $5 million working on this. And,
It's like the horror version of The Room.
yes, but
Oh,
with
hi,
more
Mark.
with more talent. The Room is just it's so inept. It's hilarious. This is there are really cool things in this. It's weird.
Oh.
Some people are absolutely going to hate it. Some people are going to think it's the best thing ever. I'd really like to know what Steve Barnard thinks, actually. He's got a different sensibility than the rest of us. So check that out. The Evil Within on Amazon Prime. It is weird.
Cool.
It's on my list right now.
Finally, I read a book by Richard Lehman called Island. You ever read this, Hunter?
Oh, I read it. Yeah. That was when we used to run out to the bookstore every time a new leisure book came out and just bought it immediately.
This book
I like
is
that one.
madness. It is so warped and disturbing. And it's just so unrealistic in ways, but realistic. It's just about some people that get stranded on an island, and you're reading the journal of an 18-year-old who's stranded with this family of all these hot chicks and some like alpha male dudes.
Pure Richard Lehman, kids horny at all times.
Oh my god, the sex stuff in this is so disturbing and weird. But I really like the way Richard Lehman wrote, I guess I should say. He just had a style that just keeps me reading. Even when I'm thinking this is dumb or this is crazy or this is unrealistic, I just keep reading. I dig the guy's style. So you want something nuts, check out Island by Richard Lehman. It's $1 on Amazon right now.
Boom.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
These nuts? And if you like that, check out One Rainy Night that he did. That's another bonkers
That's a really good book. All right, I'm done.
All right, before we go into the main feature, let's have a quick social for Burt Reynolds, who passed away.
Goodbye, Hooper.
Rest in peace, Bandit. And these bleeds, those bleeds. All right. Let's go to what the main feature.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Do you like scary movies? What's your favorite scary movie? So,
Fat Albert.
So anyway, I did not see The Nun. I was off reading Storyberry in a
You
beach
missed
house.
out, man.
And
sure did.
from what I can tell, I was right in that decision. So somebody please synopsize this movie for us before we jump in.
Can we refuse to synopsize this movie?
Okay. It's about a scary nun.
Here we go.
And
It's
I
the
didn't
nun
see
that you see in The Conjuring 2 and is hinted at in Annabelle 2. And now this is the Nun 1.
Now this nun's name is Valak, I understand.
I don't even know.
Which
Sister
was
Valak?
that's
No,
the name.
That's the demon.
Okay, so Valak was the name of the vampire in John Carpenter's Vampires.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I haven't seen that in a while.
That's a great one.
Read the book,
Does
Vampires.
that get you hard, Father? I remember that.
Mahogany. All right, so tell me about the tell me about the nun. Should I see it? How was it? What happens? How's little Vera Farmiga's little daughter or sister or whatever she is?
You go first.
Let me give some full disclosure here. I work. My days are off for Sunday, Monday. So Saturday, I come home. I get home at 6:30. I said to my daughter, "Let's go see the Nun at the Alamo." My other daughter's here, and my wife goes, and I popped open a blueberry beer, I'm drinking that, and my wife goes, "Hey, why don't you have, my daughter be the designated driver?" So,
here we go.
So I said, all right. So I have a half an hour till we leave. So that's 2 more beers. I could drink 3 beers in that half hour. And we got there a little early, and then I just kept going. So this was like an unfriended dark territory moment for me, where I just slid into it was either incoherence or needing to pee for an hour and a half. But those pee breaks were awesome because they saved me from watching what was one of the most inane scripts I've seen in a long time. I mean, and even when it was done, I was grilling my daughter going like, did I miss something? And she's like, no, this really doesn't make any sense. And it had a scene in it that was so funny to me I said something and I couldn't stop laughing for 10 minutes, and everybody else around me was laughing because we all thought it was equally absurd. And when I asked my daughter who had seen it the day before, she said the same scene in the movie cracked the whole theater up when it wasn't supposed to. So that tells you how they were hitting the mark on this one.
Was it a scene later?
Oh, I could say. I mean, it's a scene where they said something about, yeah, we have to, call upon the power of the Christ, and the guy goes, "You mean Jesus Christ?" And I just go, "No, Larry Christ."
That was an intentional laugh, and that actually made me laugh.
Oh, I couldn't stop.
That guy should have been in the movie the whole time. So it's this dude who is a French Canadian living in Romania, who is basically, what's the Formiga daughter's name? Thaisa Formiga. They hire this French Canadian dude to take them to this haunted castle, and the guy is actually pretty funny, and he kind of makes the seriousness of this movie a little easier to palate. The problem is he's not in it all that much, particularly in the middle.
He disappears in it.
He's just gone. But
so when he does show up, it's jarring. Like, to me, it's like Insidious when the ghost hunter showed up and they were so goofy. You were like, wait, you had this serious movie now, like, it's so far off.
But Insidious is
weird.
Good. I wanted more laughs in this.
3/4 is good. This, I don't know what tone they wanted for, but man, you could have done such a good story with the nun, because people are scared shitless of the Catholic religion, especially former altar boys.
Yeah.
But
we're going to have to talk about the Catholicism in this too.
They spit the bit big time in this.
So this movie was really frustrating for me because I wanted to like it. Visually, there is some cool stuff in this. Some of the shots, some of the lighting, it's really well done. But damn, this story didn't make any freaking sense.
Thank you.
None.
Drunk and sober, neither way.
None.
N-U-N, son.
It was
S-U-N.
so frustrating. Even the beginning. So the very beginning is there are two.
Wait,
nuns.
hold on a second. You went into the Nun expecting a story.
Look, I wanted just
Something.
a modicum of some story, some fun, and maybe a couple of
Haven't
jump
you
scares.
seen Conjuring movies
No, dude, you
or
don't.
Annabelle movies? Like,
No. Conjuring movies are
They make
it's amazing
sense.
the difference.
They make sense. It's mind-boggling how little sense this made to me.
This made the least sense of anything in that universe. By far.
This wasn't as bad as
Conjureverse?
Winchester, but it made as much sense as Winchester.
I thought Winchester looked better.
I thought this looked better, but until the end. The end, I can't wait to talk to you about the end of this. So my biggest issue with this, other than the script, is it seemed like every scene they were trying to think, what could we do that would look really cool? It doesn't matter if it makes sense. It doesn't matter if it fits in universe. We want it to look cool. And
Yeah.
oh, it was so frustrating. Just scenes where someone is possessed and they're leaning at a 45-degree angle with a hood on for no reason. It's just so somebody will walk up and take the hood off them so they can get a jump scare. That's the only reason that's in the movie, and it sucks. I don't know why they would do that.
I was trying to find some sort of thread to hold on to that would just carry me through this movie. And it was just little tiny bits of thread floating here and there. Nothing ever came together. I never got a sense of the nun itself.
Yeah. Are you talking
It's
about
almost
possessed nun?
non-existent.
The possessed nun?
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like non-existent in this movie. And what?
Yes. And what are the rules? What are the rules of the nun's power? Because at one point, and this isn't even much of a spoiler because it's the first act, the priest who goes to investigate this is walking around outside. He falls over into an open grave, is immediately covered by a box, covered by ground, and then there's grass growing on the ground above him, as if he's been buried down there for 6 months.
Right.
What? What the
She's
hell?
Mother Nature.
Yeah, what is that? But then later
Mother
in the
Nature's
movie,
superior.
possessed people die from shotgun blasts, or they can't get through closed doors. The rules made no sense.
There were none.
They would be running away and just close the door. Up, too bad, can't catch me now.
Ha
But
I don't even need to lock it.
yet she can move 6 feet of soil instantly. It was weird. I didn't understand it.
Oh, I know. And poor Thaisa Farmiga, who's actually really good. She's got those giant eyes.
She's outstanding in this. To be fair, she's outstanding.
She does what she can, which is most times looking perplexed or scared.
She does
her
that very
character.
well. That's her in American Horror Story.
Yeah. Well, God, I would be scared and confused if I lived through that. But she was great in Final Girls.
Mhm.
She's so good.
She's a good actress.
So I was like, I said, all right, we've got the Farmiga connection here. And it bombed in every way. However, there were people in the theater who really liked it. And when I saw them coming out, I was like, oh, okay, you're 12, you're 14, you're 15.
It has a 6.1 on IMDb, which for a horror movie is a pretty high score.
They're
Figure
padding
out.
that number. Where is that coming from?
That's out of like 19,000 votes too. Like what the hell? I kept waiting for it to come down this weekend. The score,
Right?
Nope. People are digging it.
See, I knew you and I would not like this because we're all about a story. So if there's no story, then there's nothing. It's just air.
There's no story.
But other people I talk to who are not writers.
That's why I
can't
like the
stand
Meg.
this. Don't make me go into the Meg, son.
Here are a list of nuns I prefer to this movie. There's The Flying Nun with Sally Field. There's Whoopi Goldberg, what was that? Nonsense, or was she
Sister Act?
Sister Act. There's
Did
the
you like-
Nonsense musical. There's The Penguin from the Blues Brothers, probably my favorite.
What about Nuns on the Run?
Nuns on the Run with Robbie Coltrane and Sean Penn, I believe.
The guy from Monty Python.
What was there was one with Sean Penn.
Oh,
Is that We're No Angels or something?
Yes, I think.
Don't they dress like nuns in that?
Yes.
Jay and Silent Bob featured Carrie Fisher as a nun.
Mm-hmm.
I believe one of them bangs her too in that. And then perhaps some of the greatest screen nuns of all time in the Three Stooges movie, Larry David and Kate Upton.
Wow. Dipping into the Three Stooges movie.
Let me tell you something. Kate Upton in the nun bathing suit is worth buying the Blu-ray of that movie.
That was an exhaustive list of nun movies. That was pretty well done.
I
could
just
only
thought
think of
off the
Sister
top
Act.
of my head.
By the way, here's something depressing. Eric Smith just let us know that this movie was the best opening weekend of any Conjuring movie. Jesus.
Wow. When I say I didn't care for this, I'm talking, I think I liked Annabelle, the first one, better than this.
I liked Annabelle, the first one, better because at least it had the basement scene. Like there was something I could hang my hat on.
I could follow the story.
The fact that you remember a scene from the Annabelle movie, God bless you.
Pretty amazing, right?
Yeah.
So speaking of nuns in film, let's talk about the nun here. Other than not understanding her powers or anything like that, I can't even understand in the very first scene, a nun is just before she's dragged into the darkness, she says it needs a vessel. There's no vessel the whole movie. It's just still there.
That's why Mark of the Witch is so good. The vessel is a little hottie.
Oh, see?
Well, I think the vessel in this was supposed to be Thaisa, or however you say her name, but you could see the nun floating around the whole movie. It didn't.
Tessa Formica.
However you say it, I don't know. They're making fun of us in the chat. Apparently, we don't know how to say the name.
Farmiga. That's how you say her name.
Vanessa Redgrave, we'll just call her.
Vanessa Redgrave. Like I said, I came away with this movie with zero sense of what the nun was, why the nun was doing what the nun was doing.
Why did it need a vessel? To do what?
It seemed to do pretty well without a vessel.
It can already throw people across the room. It can just do anything at once.
It does better than I do with a vessel.
The nuclear vessels.
Yeah, what's it going to get
Vessel.
drunk and grow fat if it gets a body? Like, I don't understand.
That's all I want to do is drink beer.
Suddenly it's the Robbie Coltrane nun.
Yeah. Yeah, this you know what? I wasn't angry at this movie only
No, I wasn't
because
either.
I had the bar set low. I just wanted to have fun.
I wanted
was-
Annabelle creation. That's what I was hoping for.
I was Saturday night at the Alamo, long day a week, a long work week. I was like, I just want to kick back and just have some fun. I didn't have any fun. That was a killer.
How much time do you want to put into spoilers? Because I got to talk to you about the end. Is there anything else you want to bring up?
What else could I?
So let me.
I
Let
had
me
5
just ask.
great IPAs during that movie.
Would you guys suggest seeing this movie? What's your? I'm still having trouble getting a sense of where you would rate this.
I'm gonna be honest. If you really like the Conjuring movies, wait for streaming, because there is a tie-in at the very, very end that is better than the rest of the movie.
Is there?
I mean, the bar's low, dude.
Is there a post-credit scene?
No.
I had to pee so bad when this movie was ending, and they were like hinting at false endings that I was dying. I was cramped. Then again, 5 IPAs during a movie will do it.
This movie also gets into Thaisa. I should probably look up her goddamn name.
Tessa Formica.
She suffers from visions, which apparently is why the church sent her there.
Of her agent going, "Don't do this, Trek."
But I didn't understand why. So the church, when they sent the priest there and to go get her and go, they didn't seem to know anything about this building at all. But
what is the story of this movie though? Like,
I don't know,
dude.
Like they send a girl to a.
Okay, so at the very beginning, 2 nuns die, one from suicide at this giant castle in the middle of Romania. And to investigate the suicide, the Vatican sends a priest and a nun.
But not a nun. She hasn't even taken her vows.
She hasn't taken her vows, but she has.
She's a half nun.
I don't know. It's dumb. But when they get there, we find out there have been all these nuns there praying nonstop for 60 years, or no, not 20 years, whatever the hell it's been.
Yeah.
So how does the church not know that they've been there for decades?
The church is very big.
Ooh, Steve Barnard just brought up a great point. Freddy Krueger's mother was a nun, Amanda Krueger.
Boom.
The bastard son of 100 maniacs. Well done, Barnard.
So even like all that, like that doesn't make sense either. The church didn't know that there were nuns there. Like they're completely confused about what this castle is.
And why would you bring a girl to help you who is not fully a nun and is also in her teaching kind of skirting what the Catholic Church would want you to say?
About that.
So I'm like, well, she seems to be a terrible choice.
Also a little flirty.
A little. I thought maybe this is their way to get rid of her.
I have no idea. It ended
up. We can't get bigger vows. Let's kill her.
So because of her visions, towards, I don't know, halfway, 3/4, you don't know what's real and what's not. So I'm just watching this thinking, oh, this probably isn't real, so who cares? Like, this probably isn't real, who cares? It's like a dream sequence in a movie. Who cares?
And you were there, and you were there.
All right.
So you want to get into, So
okay,
take us away, Larry Christ.
Spoiler alert here. And I have not seen this movie. And I'm just going to listen to the spoilers because I'm not going to see this movie until it's FRE on Netflix or whatever. I am not paying a dime to see this movie.
You've already seen the end of this movie. If you've watched Demon Knight, you've seen the end of this movie. They 100% copied the end, the finale of Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight.
And you would know this since you are the Demon Knight expert here.
Well, we just watched it, in March or something, whenever that was.
Yeah.
I love this. I saw this 2 nights ago, and I need you to tell me how it ends.
You don't remember? Do you remember they found a Christ bomb in the wall that looked like something that comes in a Cracker Jack box?
Christ bomb.
You're my Christ bomb.
So it's like a Christmas ornament with a cross in it, like a
it's
cross.
like the little like the liquor bottle.
Something you'd give Campus.
It looked really bad, and in it you find out the blood of Christ, the Christ, as they say in the movie, is in.
You mean Jesus Christ?
Larry the Cable Christ.
It's in the cross. So that's Demon Knight right there. That's the whole plot of Demon Knight, is they have the blood of Christ in the cross. At the end, she's trying to touch the nun, which is just throwing people around like she's in the goddamn X-Men. I mean, it's like the end of X-Men Apocalypse, the way shit is flying around.
She was bit by a radioactive nun and got the powers.
That would have been
would've-
so much better.
I would have been able to follow that. So she's trying to hit the nun with this thing while the nun is like drowning her and all this shit, and the nun gets it away from her. Sees after the whole fight that the Christ bomb is broken, and then Thaisa, I'll never get her name right.
Sure.
It turns out she had put the blood in her mouth and spits
And
it
spit it
in
on.
the
That's
face of
right.
the nun.
That's right.
The whole thing is Demon Knight. It was, but they put this really bad 3D effect of her spitting it like into the camera, and then it was just, oh, she like dies the same way. It was so bad, and the effects in the whole thing with the whirlpool and the wire work was just.
So she goes Gene Simmons on the nun and spits blood.
Yeah.
It just must have tasted awful.
It was just
That's
2,000-year-old
old
blood.
It's a bit nutsy.
Talk about pennies. Pennies from heaven.
So did you not remember the whole blood thing? The blood of Christ?
Now when you say it, I do remember it, but it was at the point where I just going, I gotta pee, stop this movie.
Does it end with her on a bus? Like in Demon Knight?
It has a surprising happy ending, which I really hated.
Yeah. Well, kind of.
I mean, it's like, hey, we're fine.
The tie-in, it's not as happy, but
Okay, so if we're doing spoilers, is there an appearance by the Warrens?
yeah, it's 5 seconds at the very end.
I missed that.
Yeah, so that's the tie-in.
I thought I saw them in the beginning.
When they might have been at the very beginning too.
Yeah.
When
So
they're leaving the castle and the guy has the upside down cross on the back of his neck, the French Canadian. Did you see that?
Mhm.
He's the
Yes.
one in the video they're showing at the end who's possessed, that they're doing the exorcism on.
Oh, when that cross was turning upside down, I'm thinking, oh, that's The Conjuring too.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this movie and I freaking hate it.
They don't even do drowning right. So the nun is drowning her, and she like drowns and stops moving, or you think she's drowned. The nun picks her back up, and that's when she spits the Christ bomb blood on your face. And then, as she's dying, she drops Formiga down in the water again, and then she's just drowned again. I'm like, what? But you were fine. You just spit the blood in her face. You can't do that if you don't have air.
Was this a classic?
Thank you.
Was this a classic toilet bowl drowning where they do the POV of the person's face in the toilet?
There was
That's
a lot
the
of,
greatest of all screen drownings.
There was a lot of underwater face shots. No
Look,
toilet bowls though. Just the movie.
I think the target audience for this was decades lower than my my group here. Because there was little younger kids loved this movie, and I will give it credit because it looks better than the shit movies we watched in the 80s growing up.
It's not a bad looking until the end. The last act doesn't look
And
good.
still looks better than most of what we watch. And it makes as little sense as a lot of what we watch. So this will be a movie that kids who watch it now in 25 years are going to wax poetic over.
Is it the Mark of the Witch in 40 years from now?
Yeah, it's Don't Go in the Woods.
With this box office opening, we're gonna get 17 more of the Nun movies. So
Probably. I was surprised how many critics did not bash it.
how? It doesn't make sense.
I don't know. Maybe they're just going with an assumption. Oh, all right, it's part of that universe. Those are usually pretty good. They probably don't even watch it.
I don't know. To be honest, though, whatever. It's a movie.
It's a movie, all right.
I don't.
Hey,
know. I don't even like to bash stuff on here, but man, the story really bothered me.
it's just there was no story. I had a wonderful time at the movies. Now, if it was at a regular movie theater that had no beer, probably be miserable. So I had a great time.
Here's the thing. I like going to the movies, so even if it's a bad movie, I still enjoy it.
Right. It's all good.
No, thank God I didn't see this movie. If I paid to see this movie, I would have been so pissed off.
I have used up all my anger on the Meg. I don't think I could be any more angry about movies for the rest of the year. Like, I'm spent.
No, there's plenty more anger in me.
That was my anger orgasm. Blew it all out.
You might want to save it, because if we're doing The Predator next week, I think it's like 50-50 if this is going to be good or not.
Are we doing the Predator? Because I don't know if I'm going to go see that either.
Does that come out Friday?
Yeah, it comes out this week. I'm going to see it either way. So
Well, I'll go just to
love
go
the
to the
Predator.
theater.
If I get to, I get to, but I got other stuff to do.
I hope it's as good as all the other sequels.
Got a pretty good cast.
Shane Black is my favorite screenwriter, so it should be funny if nothing else.
Right.
It
Does do funny well.
It should have great dialogue. We'll see. The last trailer that came out last week was incredibly gory, so I'm hoping we at least get some of that.
Whatever.
I would say this: see it so we can at least do a non-spoiler review of it. But let's not commit to that being the conversation movie next week.
Look at Jack hedging his bets.
I'm probably not going to see this movie in the theater because, number one, nobody wants to see that movie. And number two, I got other stuff going on.
You have a movie theater down the block from you. Just
That doesn't show that.
walk on over.
You don't ever wait for me, jerk.
Mm.
First of all, you don't answer texts.
I do, just like late. Really bad. Oh, all right. So The Nun. You can don't run for The Nun, but for completist, watch it when it's maybe cheaper.
Freer.
I say don't watch it. I don't recommend it.
And you know what? I think there's a lot of critics who will say the same thing without having watched it, just like Jack.
Yep.
So next week, Jack is leading the charge. We are all going to be watching the Predator movie. So you all go out and watch 2, so you can discuss it with the 3 of us.
We should do the Predator at some point. Even Predator 2. There's fun stuff in it.
I haven't seen Predator 2 in a long time.
It's not nearly as bad as I remembered. It's not a great movie, but just Gary Busey getting cut in half by that disc in the meatpacking plant is so great.
Gary Busey. We need more Gary Busey.
He's
Busey marathon.
All right, I'm done.
Me too. God bless everybody.
Okay, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. And until then, kick the habit.
En el nombre de Padre y de Espíritu Santo. Amén.
Bye.